Hello, I'm Gaston Gosselin, Collage and Music Fellow for the 25-26 season, and today I'm joined by Nomi Epstein, who will be having her commissioned piece premiered at our upcoming concert on September 28th. Nomi, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Fantastic. So what can you tell me about your piece and how it relates to the overall theme for the concert, that being memory and place?
Well, that's a good question and also a terrible question. And I think primarily the relationship for this particular commission is that um, collage has been part of my life since I was in the womb, since before I was born. And it is something that I went to concerts growing up. I went to rehearsals growing up. They rehearsed in our basement. The ensemble rehearsed in our basement growing up. And I think having that so close by, I always felt like it was just part of my family. So I think this commission for me is maybe related to this subject in it just being part of my upbringing, which contributed to my interest in new music.
Fantastic. And it's so great to have such a fantastic ensemble so close to home, and in your case, quite literally in your home, it sounds like. Um, so yeah, listening to a lot of your music and reading a little bit into your philosophies, it seems that a lot of your music is really based around subtlety of sound and kind of towards the quieter dynamics overall. And you are also a licensed practitioner of deep listening as understood by Pauline Oliveros. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how maybe that deep listening practice has influenced a lot of your music throughout the years, and if potentially even this upcoming commission.
Yeah, great. Yes, I would agree that a lot of my music, I'm interested in noticing the details of of a sound, the subtle details of a sound, and the subtle shifts. And in terms of my deep listening practice, that's something that I think when I discovered or when I got to know the practice, I realized that a lot of the things that I enjoyed about listening and about sensing and kind of being in the world were parts of the deep listening practice. So it felt like it aligned really well with my interests and sort of things that I was already doing. Um, and what I like to say when I facilitate deep listening workshops is that it for me is very very important and special because, well, it's a practice that I take part in daily, every day of my life. Um, but it's also in a way teaching and experiencing listening in to the world in the way that I listen to the world and that I would love for people to listen to my piece with. So um, I have a colleague who, for her premiere of a new orchestral work of hers, led a deep listening, or it was a sonic meditation. One of the exercises of Pauline Oliveros' deep listening, led the whole audience through it, and I thought, what a wonderful way of, um, you know, inviting the audience into this listening practice, which would be, she also writes music that's very quiet and subtle. Um, so that's another composer kind of working with it, but I in my own score wrote a little note actually before, at the top of all the parts in the score, which kind of points to this type of listening practice. So I do want my performers also, not just the listeners, to kind of enter into that mode.
Fantastic. And this might, you, it already sounds like you were getting on to my next question as well, but of what are you hoping the audience takes away from your piece?
I think the most I can ever hope is for people to listen with open ears. And so that's all. That's all I can hope for in any instance. Um, yeah. I mean, I would keep that a short answer, but that's how I feel.
Fantastic. Nomi, thank you so much for joining me here today and making time of your day to make give us a little bit of insight into you and your piece. Um, and to everyone else, I hope we can see you at our upcoming Collage and Music concert on September 28th at Longy School of Music. Nomi, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you for having me.